Eraserhead is a 1977 indie film directed by esteemed filmmaker David Lynch, who you probably know from his hit TV series Twin Peaks. Eraserhead follows a man who is an unexpected father who must care for his deformed baby. So, here we are talking about Eraserhead, which is a movie that is very weird and will probably not be a fan favorite for a lot of you. But after watching this film, I have a very special appreciation for this movie. So, there's a lot to say about this movie. This is the first movie by David Lynch, who has a very interesting career. He made Mulholland Drive, Blue Velvet, Elephant Man, Eraserhead, of course, being his first directorial debut. It took 5 years to make this movie. They ran out of funding, shot more sequences on film, had to make more money, came back and shot more of the movie. And he has such a unique style throughout the entire picture that is so atmospheric. This is perhaps the most atmospheric movie I've ever seen. And in fact, that atmosphere carries over very well into The Shining, so much so that in fact this film is one of Stanley Kubrick, the director of The Shining's, favorite films. And he cited this movie as being an inspiration for The Shining. So if you are a fan of The Shining, as me myself am, you have to appreciate Eraserhead. Now, when I say it's an indie film, I mean it is, in a way, a horror movie, but it's not exactly a traditional horror movie at all. This is a very surreal film. If I had to describe it to you, if you've never seen it, imagine if Salvador Dali made a movie. There are several scenes in this movie where characters will just pause and then start talking. There are weird sequences with no dialogue and just bizarre music and weird camera angles and stuff. It's a very odd, almost like out-of-body experience. But I enjoy the heck out of it, and it really makes you feel so many different emotions. And that's one thing that I can say David Lynch has nailed in Eraserhead. Whether or not you fully follow what's happening in the movie, because the plot is very loose, Eraserhead manages to relate you to this guy, Henry, who does not know what's happening at all in the world around him, with his girlfriend, with his baby, with his in-laws, with his neighbors, and even the lady in the radiator. Yes, a lady in the radiator. But you relate to him on this confused, like, deer in headlights level. And the emotions of what he's going through are so tense that it doesn't matter if you follow the story completely. How you feel in the movie is, I think, what Lynch was going for, and I did feel something in this movie. There is a sequence towards the end of Eraserhead that I will rewatch it, and it freaks me out. It really is creepy. It's easily one of the most disturbing films I've seen. And some of the scenes I'm not even going to show you, not just because, one, on YouTube I could get flagged, but also just because I want you to experience this film for yourself. Because it's a bizarre trip, let me tell you. It is a bizarre trip, but it's worth it. If you can invest an hour and 40-ish minutes of your time into Eraserhead, I think you'll leave being a happy camper, especially if you like the macabre and the bizarre. If there's one thing I took away from this film, it's that parenting is a scary thing. And that when you're not prepared for how to treat a baby and how to live in an apartment with your girlfriend and raise a child and get settled, I guess. This movie's kind of about being, getting settled. You can see how scary of a concept this was, and this was early on when Lynch was a, new father, and I can definitely see that emotion in this story. The baby itself, by the way, freaky baby. He won't even say what it was. Some people think it's like a cow fetus, There are other rumors too. It's a very disturbing baby, yet the use of sound and camera shots make you sympathize with the little thing. Speaking of sound, by the way, the music and the atmosphere is really perpetuated by the sound. And the camera angles and the situations that happen only add to Eraserhead. I got a lot of the film and what it means, but there's one sequence that I still have no clue what it's about, and that is the titular moment where, and I guess this is spoilery, but the whole movie is so weird that you'll probably forget that I said this. But Henry's head falls off, yeah, and his head gets made into pencil erasers, hence the name of the movie. And I don't know how that connects to the baby narrative and the radiator lady narrative. I'm not quite sure about how it fits into the story, but it was an interesting sequence nonetheless. It was almost a funny sequence too, and I think to have a little levity amidst the horrifying baby stuff was interesting, and I'm sure there's a meaning to it. I'm just not digging hard enough, but I will be watching this film many more times, and I definitely recommend it if you are into the surreal and into the indie films out there. I didn't think I was going to like it, I'll be honest. I was not expecting to like this movie, but Eraserhead captured me, and I really appreciate David Lynch's eye for including such immense imagery into the movie. So with that said, I'm going to give Eraserhead a 4 out of 5 skulls on the R.I.P. Reviews rating scale. Have you seen Eraserhead? Have you not? Did this review make you a little bit intrigued? I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, as always, for all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer.